Good morning, everyone. This is Jeffy Kennedy, author of Fantasy Romance and Romantic Fantasy. I'm here with my first cup of coffee. Hmm. It's like, I hate to say it's one of the best parts of my day, but it's one of the best parts of my day. Today is Monday, February 15th. Trying something new today. So I am recording the video, but I'm just recording a video with my camera phone, simultaneously recording on Zencaster for Buzzsprout. But I'm going to upload the video to Instagram and probably to YouTube. I'll start putting it in both of those places um, because I'm tired of the Instagram live video disappearing on me. And also, after my frustration on Friday with the um, video disappearing, I realized, why do I need to do Instagram Live? And I did some research to see what are the advantages of Instagram Live, and the main one seemed to be so that you could interact real time with your fans. That was their thing, and and you guys know I find the comments distracting. It sort of breaks up my train of thought, which is not an unbroken train to begin with. Let's all be honest with ourselves. So I thought, well, that's the part I don't like about Instagram Live. So why am I doing this Instagram Live? So I'm not. So we're trying it with this video. It should give the same effect of having the video, and I could show you things, but without the technological hinkiness, technical term there, and hopefully without the distractions. The other thing I notice about myself is that I start getting caught up in the numbers and looking at who's watching. And I mean, it's a little bit of a psych out, you guys. Maybe someone with a stronger ego than I have could handle it better. But like when people come in and you could see how many people are watching, it shows you like a little eye of how many people are watching, and then they leave, and and I start thinking, well, was I boring? Which it's like it could be they wanted to see what it was about, and then they're not interested, or I mean, it's like intellectually I can be pretty zen about it because it's like, I have a 30-second attention span. I look and see what somebody's talking about and then think, I don't want to. But having people watch and then look away made me start feeling pressure about what I was talking about. Um, and as I've often said on this podcast, this is supposed to be a low pressure thing. It's I just don't even want to be part of the stuff, like you guys know, First Cup of Coffee is part of the Frolic Media Podcast Network. Um, and I do not, they occasionally do stuff, like, how to improve your interviews. And I mean, I know they're trying to do value add, but, like how to market your podcast, how to do all these things. And there's a point at which I just can't, it's, I have to draw the line, as it were. Um, there's so much marketing stuff, so much marketing stuff, and it's great advice. I'm sure it's great advice, and yet I just there's only so much you can do, right? So, uh, yeah, I keep thinking about this 2-minute tip that I said I would do and still have not done, because I don't know how to condense my vast amounts of wisdom into 2 minutes. I definitely need to write a script. That should probably be my first step. I'm a better writer than I am a speaker. But I think that is one of the pieces of, like, of life balance is is trying to eliminate those things that madden you. Racing and hunting madden the mind, you know, and things like worrying about what people are being bored by in the moment. I mean, do you guys do this like in conversation? If you're talking with somebody and you're telling them a story or something and you see them glaze over and they stop listening to you. Uh, I think I may be hypersensitive to that kind of thing because sometimes I'll just, if I know someone's not listening to me, I'll just stop talking and then they won't even notice that I stopped talking. You know, like my husband. And, you know, it's sort of like, okay, so that wasn't interesting or whatever. And I am able to do that kind of distancing and think, okay, well, you know, they've just got something else going on inside their own heads. It's almost always them. You know, I mean, I do think that that's a true thing when people seem to be responding oddly to you. It's almost always about what's going on in their own head. But I also know that there are people. I had drinks with friends a couple weeks ago, and there was a gal there who was a friend of a friend. And she's one of those people who just talks and talks and talks entirely about herself and never listens to anybody else, almost never stops talking. And so I think, okay, well, so people like that, you know, are completely oblivious to the fact that everyone at the table is like quietly gnawing their own paw off, hoping to get away because it's so insufferable. And they're clearly oblivious to that. You know, so there's this whole spectrum in there, you know, where I think sometimes I'm oversensitive to it. Uh, but anyway, I hate just talking on and boring people. So I am fully aware that there are times when you listen to my podcast and you guys are like, oh my God, she's so boring. And is she totally fucking talking about her earrings again or whatever? Um, and I can be okay with that because I don't have to see you glaze over. Don't tell me if you glazed over. Speaking of earrings, let's talk earrings. I know you've been waiting for this moment. So we're into the asymmetrical section of this row, working our way down. Today are some of my green earrings, green being my favorite color. And, you know, I often complain that it's hard to find good greens. But, so here's this earring, which I'm trying to, how can I explain for the people who are on audio only? It's a fakey version. It's supposed to look like tarnished copper. I wanted to say corroded. Tarnished copper. So it's kind of brass colored and has a green patina. It's a dangly, of course, and has this sort of diamond shape, large diamond shape that's almost like a pineapple with a leaf dangling from beneath it. And I know it makes no sense, but this one was always ever a single. And I used to have a matching ear cuff. And it was a cuff that went over and around my entire ear, a wire, and then it had pieces that dangled in front, and it was from the same colors. It had pieces that dangled in front of the ear, and then as it came around to the bottom of the ear, it had more pieces, and it dangled all the way down my neck. From the 80s. These things are all from the 80s, right? And it was fabulous, and I wore it in college, and then it was one of those things that I almost wore never anywhere else. I've worn this little one many, many times. It's a favorite. It's a long-time favorite. That cuff was just too much. I wore it to sorority dances, and it was great for that. Not so much for real life. Real life being very different than being at a sorority dance. In so many ways. I miss the sorority dances. So the other earring that I've paired with our selection today is very similar in that it is that green patinaed brass. And this is simply a long diamond shape, long as in about 2 inches. Very long and slim with pointed ends, vertical. And I love this little earring. And I think I picked it up in college sometimes too. And it's the remainder of a pair. So this begs the question, right? I surely, why do I only lose one of the pair and then never the other one? And I think that probably the answer is that I have and I do, but I don't remember them because then they're gone forever. Do you think that's what it is? I don't know. I'm not sure that's what it is. I think I have this thing where I lose one earring. It's probably something karmic. It says something about me and I don't know what it is. Oh well. So, for the next few days, we'll be doing single earrings. Um, I kind of have them arranged in the jewelry cabinet that way. So yeah, it's kind of fun to be wearing the earrings. I am feeling slightly stir crazy. It is very cold here. We got down to like -2 last night. I think we're up to a blazing. Oh well, the sun's on the outside thermometer. It says it's 37, and that's a total lie. I think it's up to like 6, something like that. Lots and lots of snow. At least it is sunny today, so that's good. It was um, very dark starting about midday Saturday, and then through all day yesterday. We were totally socked in and snowing, and it was pretty. It was a pretty snow. It's that time of year. I had the fire going in the fireplace, and so that was nice. I mostly read all weekend. I did a lot of hibernating, and so that was fine. But I am reminded of um, last year in the early stages of the pandemic and lockdown, um, how restless I was. And, I have to keep reminding myself, I feel for all of you who have not been able to get outside, who live in small apartments and that kind of thing. Um, but yeah, I'm missing getting out and going places. I'm feeling a little, I don't, what's the word I wanted to say snowbound, but I don't know. I have been reading a couple of books that were recommended to me outside of my normal genre, these psychological thrillers, which I think they affect my mood. I don't know how you guys read this dark shit. I read one book called The Broken Girls by, I want to say Simone St. Clair. Is that the right? Let's just look really quick so that we can get this correct, Jeffy. And it was interesting. Ghost story. Yeah, Simone St. James. Beautifully written ghost story. Everything tied up very neatly. Partly a murder mystery, but I mean, the interesting thing about the psychological thrillers is that they are, psychological. They do delve into the psyche, and I'm always very interested in that, how people's brains work. And then this other book that I've been reading is Sarah Pinborough, and it's called Behind Her Eyes. And it's also very twisty, but I don't know, these people are so messed up. I do think that contributes to me feeling, I don't know, not excited about life. I think depressed is too strong of a word. I'm certainly not down or anything like that, but after a while it's like, huh. So I don't know if I've read these two, and as soon as I finish Sarah's, I'm going to move on. I do get to read Jennifer Eastep's Capture the Crown. Lucky me. She asked me to blurb that for her, and I have to do that by March 1st. So I'm excited to read that. I also have in my hot little hands Dorinda's third book in her. She confuses me with her titles. This book is called Beguiled, so it's Bewitched, Betwixt, and Beguiled, I think, are the titles, but then I don't remember what she's called the series. I guess we should look at that. And I've read the first two books, and I'm going to try to do a fast read for her. Let's see here. Beguiled, Dorinda Jones comes right up. And let's see here. Okay, so the series title is Betwixt and Between. And then the books are Beguiled, Bewitched in reverse order, and I hate that they do so much advertising, and Betwixt. So the first book, Betwixt. No wonder I can't remember this. Betwixt, Bewitched, Beguiled, Betwixt and Between. I hate you, Dorinda. Actually, I don't hate her, but you guys know that. So I do have that to read. And actually, her brand of humor will be an excellent antidote to Behind Her Eyes, which is going to be made into a movie or into a Netflix show that starts on February 17th. And I'm interested to watch that. You know, it's a funny thing. I can watch things that are much more, it doesn't bother me nearly as much as reading a thing. I think I really delve into the story when I read. So same way for me with watching Game of Thrones. It didn't bother me nearly so much as I only read the first book in that series, A Song of Ice and Fire, and I found that soul crushing. So this is clearly a thing about me. I am just a fragile flower. That's probably not fair to say. I know I make that joke a lot. I make a lot of deliberate choices for happiness. I am generally a happy person. I often say that I have happy chemistry, and I make deliberate choices for things that will help me to be happy. So, and among that is reading. I like to read things that make me happy, not things that crush my soul and grind it beneath the wheel of futility. So, there you have it. We'll see how the video works. Feedback, welcome on how it seems. It may be a little quiet because I've got the camera. I didn't want the camera like totally in my face, but we'll see. And I'm getting back to work on Sorcerer's Queen and the Pirate Rogue today. It's President's Day here in the U.S. It's some holiday in Canada too. I forget what they call it there, but it's a writing day for me, especially after I did nothing all weekend. I did the laundry, and I read books. That was pretty much it. Hope you all had a good weekend too, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. I'll remind you that First Cup of Coffee is part of the Frolic Media Podcast Network. Did you know that? And you can find more podcasts you love at frolic.media/podcasts. You all take care. Bye-bye.